What's going on, folks? It's your boy Rex Righteous, and I'm back with another rap rant. Alright, so this definitely piqued my interest. Obviously, you guys know I'm a Miami Heat fan. Um, Sorry if I've been off the channel, but I'm trying to get back into a rhythm, and uh, right now, what I want to talk about is the NBA. So there's been a couple trades. I don't want to just talk about the Heat, I want to just talk some NBA. So there's a good one with Isaiah Thomas going to the Lakers. That's a really entertaining one because he says he doesn't want to come off the bench. He's telling that to reporters that he's not coming off the bench. So this leads to a future argument between LeVar Ball and Isaiah Thomas. You will see that that's gonna be the next thing. The NBA is trying their best to stay relevant and just take over ratings when it comes to sports. Another one that I found kind of crazy was D Rose going to Utah. Now, if you don't know about Utah, just look at their crowd, look at their audience, the people that's in the stands. Sorry if you're a Utah Jazz fan, but some of those folks are more on the conservative side, and they're not going to be down with D Rose acting how he acts, because the only players that did well in Utah and people loved them were Karl Malone and John Stockton and a couple of other players like Boozer and stuff like that. But those guys, they had to stay quiet. They couldn't show emotion. They had to show up to work every day. Now, D Rose, I don't think he's going to be able to do that because of just his mind being all over the place and him being always hurt and stuff like that. So that's going to be a fun one to see what happens, because that team is actually in the playoffs right now. They're slotted for the playoffs. So that's going to be, kind of cool to watch, interesting to watch. Jay Crowder going over there, I don't know where his game went, but he was not relevant when it came to the Cavs. Now, on to the Cavs. Let's see what happened. Let's see what's going on with the Cavs. So we got George Hill going over there. We got Jordan Clarkson. We got Nance from the Lakers. We also have, who else? Who else was in that damn thing? I know D Wade obviously left. Rodney Hood, and I think that's it. I think Rodney Hood, George Hill, Jordan Clarkson, and Nance. I actually like the Clarkson deal. I like that really a lot, actually. I think he's going to surprise people. I know he's pretty young. I know he's still sort of a rookie or whatever. But LeBron actually needs a creator. I don't think George Hill is that. I think he's more of a conservative point guard, like a regular good playing point guard. He doesn't do crazy turnovers, gonna bring the ball up, follow the system, probably not even talk, not say much. Okay, he's mute. He's not much of a personality. Okay, but a lot of people are thinking that Rodney Hood is gonna start as the shooting guard, and George Hill will be the point guard. This is my prediction. My prediction is that Rodney Hood will not last as the shooting guard, as the starting shooting guard for that team. It will be a fight between Jordan Clarkson and J.R. Smith. Watch. That locker room is going to eat him alive, because he's another person that's quiet like George Hill. But George Hill is more valuable because he is a point guard. When you're a shooting guard, you can't be too crazy. You got to be consistent, and you got to be a creator. And they don't have much of a creator when it comes to that slot. So I think that Jordan Clarkson is going to be up there for the grabs of that position. Obviously, LeBron's going to be playing small forward, and then I forgot who they're gonna put at the power forward. I don't remember, but I know Kevin Love is not gonna always be out. So they still got Tristan Thompson, which I think is still an issue. They let go of Fry, and And I'm trying to think of some other players that are there, because LeBron obviously is not going to play power forward. And let's see, Rodney Hood, George Hill, Derrick Rose, Utah. That's so crazy. Joe Johnson going to Sacramento. Joe Johnson was actually playing for Utah for a little while. People just didn't really realize it. And I don't know who's gonna play the power forward position. I don't know. There might be somebody there. No one jumps out to me, because Jay Crowder was playing it, and he was kind of like a hybrid small forward and all this. It was just weird. But they'll put somebody there. And if they're not playing small, then somebody's going to help out Tristan. But that's going to be the weirdest spot, in my opinion, is that center and power forward slot. You kind of covered there with shooting guard and stuff like that. And of course, small forward is LeBron James. Here's my take though on LeBron. People are saying that he's getting out the East. That this is for sure he's getting out the East. I am objective when it comes to that. Obviously, you have LeBron James, MVP, Finals MVP, all that. So yes, I think it's fair for someone to say, yeah, they're getting out the East. I'm not disagreeing with that. But I will say this. Just because they don't look like they can beat the Warriors now with this new package, that doesn't mean that they can't win the championship. I really feel like LeBron, if he plays hard and he's committed and he really likes his teammates, they can win. They can win as much as they want. You have LeBron James, as long as he's happy, the guy is almost unstoppable. So, there are some little holes there, Jordan Clarkson is good, but I don't know about defense. The defense isn't that great when it comes to what they got. George Hill is obviously a good defender, but the other guys, I don't know, because Rodney Hood is injured. He doesn't have a solid season to say, oh well, come on, he's Rodney Hood. No, he's not Rodney Hood. Like if you're trying to say his name, like if he's the greatest shooting guard or he's really good, he's a solid shooter. But that's really all he is. He's been injured a couple times, and in Utah, that new rookie Mitchell has been taking his spot, because a few years ago Rodney Hood was the new kid in town. Now Mitchell is like, whoa, because he's dunking all over the place. He can shoot threes. He's a solid player, but you're not gonna get that on a championship team. You're not gonna get someone. No one's gonna trade for Ben Simmons or Mitchell or Devin Booker or like all these new fresh players. No one's gonna trade Lonzo Ball unless it's a headache, like a real headache, because obviously they took on the LeVar train and all that. So that's just my take on Cleveland. Obviously the Warriors didn't make much of a trade. There are a few little baby trades, but I feel like a lot of people are underestimating the East right now. So shout out to my friends in New York. They say that my team is a sinking ship. Miami Heat. They are going down in the rankings, but that doesn't mean that we can't do better or we can't make the playoffs. There are a lot of teams in the East that are doing really good. And the East is the East, the West is the West. To me, that whole argument of, oh, if this team was on the West, how would it be? Who knows? Who the hell knows, really? Because then we have to change weather, right? We have to change the stadium. We have to change the audience, the crowd, the ticket sales, everything. So that has no effect. The crowd, too. I know I already said crowd, but I'm just saying, like, when it comes to when it's playoffs and when it gets intense, do you have loyal fans or do you have fair weather fans, or do you have fans that really just want to see something spectacular. I don't know. When it comes to fan base, that always depends on the city, right? Miami, they say that there's like bandwagon fans there. Knicks, those are the loyal ones, right? The Lakers, if there's something going on in town, everybody's gonna go there. That's why right now the thing is right now is Golden State Warriors. A lot of fans that were Lakers fans, they went to Warriors. And if you talk to anybody that lives in that part of Cali, they'll tell you that that's the most expensive place to live in California. There's people all over the world from there, Uber and all these places, Amazon, or I don't know all the companies, but there are a lot of tech companies in that area, and that's why the price has gone up. So for that team, that's what you got in the crowd when you go to a Warriors game. So, if you say, oh, well, if this team was on the East, blah, 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 we don't know, because you got to change everything then. So I don't like that analogy, but whatever. Let's go back to Heat. Okay. Acquiring Dwayne Wade isn't much. It creates lineage. It creates more greatness for our team and for our franchise. There's not many teams that you could talk about in the East that have legacy. You got the Knicks. They don't have much of a legacy, right? They have some legacy, but it's fading away because not everybody can go back and watch Jordan games and see that the Knicks didn't really do much. They got to the finals versus Tim Duncan, and the Spurs squashed them. So then you got a couple teams here and there with some history. You got the Hornets, you got Cleveland, you got Milwaukee with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I'm trying to think, but it's always been this Knicks thing. The East has always been the Knicks. But Miami Heat also has had rivalries with the Knicks. But you got the Hawks, Toronto Raptors. Obviously the Raptors are good. Celtics, can't forget the Celtics. Right now the Celtics have a lock. They have a lock, and they have a great history. So the East, yes, has always been mainly the Celtics. People override them sometimes too. But the Knicks, coming from New York, they have some diehard fans there, and they really want them to win every single year. So, yeah, it's always been the Celtics. That's a good correction. So when it comes to the East, we need more of teams like the Celtics. There aren't as many. In the West, you're starting to see more. You're starting to see Houston building a lineage. They got a really good lineage. You're talking about back to Yao Ming, Tracy McGrady, Hakeem Olajuwon. That's a good lineage, you know what I'm saying? And right now you got James Harden going off, the beard, that whole brand. That's a dope lineage, you know what I'm saying? You got the Spurs, Mavericks. They've won in the past couple years, past 5 or 10 years. They've won. They've gone to the finals. They've gone to the playoffs. You got Sacramento. They've gone like maybe 15 years ago, but they got something there. There's something to hold on to. The Lakers, of course. Warriors, of course. OKC starting to, every year, almost every year. Last year they didn't make it to the playoffs, but they made it. So let me wrap it up. Basically, with the Heat acquiring Dwayne Wade, I think that's dope. I think it adds more confidence to the lineup. We acquired some young European player or some young guy that was from the Hawks, and we had him before, but he was hurt, and they're saying that he's a shooter, so that's cool. But I'm not expecting like finals or whatever. If we make it, we make it. If we don't, we don't. I'm not rooting for that. I'm rooting for success in some form. And you never know where success is going to come from when you're working hard. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not all about superheroes like LeBron and Steph Curry and his team, because Steph Curry's got an awesome team. But I like the bringing back a legend, so he can retire and he can do what he has to do. But I really feel that, like, unless he gets hurt, you can't count out Dwayne Wade. You can't count out what he's done for that city and for that franchise. When it comes to sports, these guys are professionals. They're adults. They're not babies. Okay, maybe they might scream and cry, and some of the things come off like that because, if you're reading everything every day, it's all in how you consume it. So yes, they might come off as kids, but as long as these guys are willing to play and they're willing to fulfill their contract, you can't take away their food off their plate. They're making money, they're fulfilling their contract, and they're playing. They're not jail inmates where they're being told to play. I know that some of it is entertainment and you're just like, yeah, get this old fat slob off my TV. But he has a factor. If he was not, there, then he would be in the D League or the G League or whatever the hell they have out there. Trust me. Dwayne Wade's a competitor. So, and I feel the same way about a lot of older players, He's very much like Tim Duncan. Very much. Taking less money and stuff like that. I felt like he lowballed himself going to the Bulls, but look, it all worked itself out. Let me know what you guys think about the trades, all the things that's going on with the upcoming next games after the All-Star game, because obviously that's when real basketball starts. So let me know what you guys think. It's your boy Rick's Righteous. I'm out. Peace.